Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Katie, and today I'm going to be doing my weekly book review, which is a little bit late tonight, but I had to finish the book, and I'm going to be talking about the Constantine Empire series. So thank you to Baker Publishing for sending me the third book in the series. I don't have the first two in physical form. I listened to those on audio, but I will put the covers over here so you can see them. But I read the entire series in 1 week. I'm kind of glad actually that I did it that way because I kind of like, especially if I'm doing reviews for a series, I like to read them all at once so my thoughts are fresh and I can talk about the books. So I requested this book on purpose because I wanted to read something that was really different. I wanted a series that I thought that men and women would enjoy both, and I definitely picked one that, yes, that I think men and women would love. So Constantine's Empire series by BRYAN LITFIN. So I will not spoil anything. This is spoiler free, as much as my abilities can be, but I really enjoyed this series. I really did. So if you've read A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers, I feel it's very similar to that. It's Roman era. The main characters are a Christian woman who's kind of upper class, I believe, and she meets a man who is pretty much a German barbarian in the army, and they kind of meet through somehow her family gets involved with something and she ends up getting arrested. She didn't do anything, but she ends up getting arrested, and he ends up coming to her aid. He sees her, he sees she's in trouble and rescues her. And this is all about like the early church in Rome. We see a lot of Constantine and his family and his kind of journey to try to get Rome and the rest of Italy onto a good and godly Christian path. And I thought it was really cool. There's a lot of history in this series. There's a lot of action going on. There is a love story between our two characters, but it's not mushy romance or anything. That's why I think that men and women would really enjoy this series. So yes, very, very good. There is trigger warnings for the second and third book, I believe. There is mention of a abortion and miscarriage, so if that troubles you, definitely skip these, but very, very different. I really enjoyed this series quite a bit. I think the only parts that kind of went over my head were the parts of war and action, because I did get a little bit strong, and war during that era, well, any era, is strong and pretty graphic. So it's not to like an extent of like what movies get into, but yeah, pretty graphic. So, but it was really good. I know one of my friends asked if there was any like explicit content. I would say it's on par with Francine Rivers. I know Francine Rivers has a little bit of explicit content. It's like pretty much like closed door. Like, you know that love is going to happen, but they don't talk about it. It's just like, close the door scene like in a movie, and then you see him the next morning. So so it doesn't get graphic in that way. There's just quite a bit going on. These are definitely big books. Like, I cannot believe I finished all 3 books in 1 week. My brain might be hurting after this, but yes, I really enjoyed these. I definitely liked the history aspects, and I liked how the author really did a lot of research into the Roman Christian era, and it was just really cool. I really enjoyed the parts where like there was this group that were Christians, but like they were twisting God's word and changing things, and they're trying to bring Christians into their church. And our 2 main characters, Rex and, I knew I was going to forget her name, Flavia. Rex and Flavia, they are trying to help Constantine and the Roman kingdom to try to get them back to Jesus. And so it was really good. I really enjoyed this series quite a bit. I think I gave the whole series, book 1 and book 3, I ended up giving 4 stars, and then the second one was like 3.5, but I still really enjoyed it. I think there were just more slow moments in the second book, but the first and third book definitely had more going on, so I really enjoyed it. I think honestly the third book might be my favorite. I think the third one might be my favorite, but So I'm glad I own the third one. Just had to get the first two to put on my shelves. But yes, so definitely, if you liked A Voice in the Wind, I definitely think you should pick this up. Quite similar era, like there is a love story, but honestly, I prefer the love story in this compared to A Voice in the Wind, just saying. Because just the love story between Rex and Flavia were just so sweet, and I love their characters so much. So these books are really hard hitting, so definitely be prepared for that as well, because they're talking about the Roman Church and the people who were against Christians and stuff during this era. So yes, just be aware of that. But honestly, I really enjoyed it, and a lot of history, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like, it was definitely like not reading a textbook. So it was definitely good to see a fiction take on Roman culture and Roman history. So definitely really enjoyed it. And I definitely, honestly, I feel like my favorite character in the book would probably be Rex, because I also forgot to mention that, no, I won't say that, I won't spoil it, but leave that out. Okay, so yes, so Rex would probably be my favorite character. I also liked his wife Flavia, but I think Rex would probably be my favorite character in the entire trilogy. So it was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. All the books follow mainly Rex and Flavia, and they go from knowing each other through marriage, through everything. I think we follow them for a good, I think 12 years throughout the book, so we're following quite a bit of history. But there are a lot of different perspectives in this book. Like, we see Rex, we see Flavia. There's quite a few different characters. Constantine, his wife, his mother. So there are a lot of characters in these books, but it was actually fairly easy to keep track of all of them. I think I only lost track a few times. But that's because I listened to the first two on audio. I think this one helped a little bit more trying to remember characters. But definitely there's a huge cast of characters, but it was really interesting. And I love that these books have maps on the inside, which I should look a little bit more. It's really cool, but it shows maps on the inside, which I think are really cool. I love when books have maps involved. And I probably should have looked at this as I was reading. I always tend to forget because I get so engrossed in a book and then I forget to actually look. And I also liked how, even though I forgot to look at it again, but it has ancient and modern place names. So like, these are actual like names that were used in ancient times, but what we use nowadays. Like Egyptus, which I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it, is Egypt in our time. So I thought that was really cool. I figured it was Egypt when I was listening to the audiobook of the first two books, but good confirmation here. And so I thought that was cool that you get to see kind of what the names were back in that era. So that was really cool. And there's also a glossary too, which I'll probably read through that as well. I didn't honestly do too bad with not knowing like a lot of Roman era stuff. So like, it honestly is pretty self-explanatory when you read the books. So like, if like there's like a Greek saying or a Hebrew saying, BRYAN LITFIN will actually like translate it like in the writing, which I think is cool. So you don't have to like look it up and find out what it is. So I always love when an author does that, instead of just, just leaving it at that and having to look it up for yourself. So I really like that about the book. So yes, definitely check these out. I think you'll enjoy them. This would be a great gift for your husband or son. I definitely recommend, though, this wouldn't be for like younger teens. I would say older teens to adult, just because of the action and a little bit of explicit, but like it doesn't get, too much. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you all have a wonderful, blessed night, and I will see you all in the next video.